Greetings, welcome to W11U1 SAR Part A Institutional Information. In the previous unit, we understood the SAR requirements of Criterion 9. With that, we noted that Part B of the SAR is over. As we noted earlier, Part B of SAR has 8 program level criteria and 1 institute level criteria, a total of 9 criteria. We covered the Part B in the earlier units. Now, there is also a Part A which is primarily to provide information regarding the institution. So, we will look at the components to be filled in the SAR under Part A, institutional information. So, the outcome for this unit W11U1 is understand the components to be filled in SAR under Part A, institutional information. As the name implies, it is mostly data, information that needs to be provided. So, as we mentioned, Part A is institutional information, Part B the 9 criteria. Actually, there is a Part C also, which is just a declaration by the head of the institute. In addition, SAR has an annexure which lists the knowledge and attitude profiles, WKs. If you recall, in the earlier units on the general principles of outcome based education, we looked at how the knowledge and attitude profiles WK are incorporated into the graduate attributes and how the present SAR is based on those things. So, the annexure 1 lists these knowledge and attitude profiles. Annexure 2 lists the 11 program outcomes and indicates the requirements of program specific outcomes. Again, recall that we mentioned in the earlier versions of the SAR and the accreditation by NBA, there are 12 outcomes, but now they have been reduced to only 11. So, the 11 program outcomes and what are the requirements of program specific outcomes are listed in annexure 2. Then annexure 3 provides samples of allied departments. Again, as we noted in the earlier units, this concept of allied departments is new in the present version of the accreditation. A department and its allied departments are treated as one unit for several purposes, including calculating the SFR and all that. So, annexure 3 provides samples of allied departments. The Part A of the SAR describes the information regarding the institution. Okay, we already have discussed Part B in detail and annexures are information items only. So, what are the items which come under the Part A of the SAR? Okay. Obviously, some basic information like name and address of the institution and the type of the institution. The type of the institution can be institute of national importance, deemed to be university or university or an autonomous institute. That means that it is an institute which perhaps is affiliated to university, but it has academic autonomy. So, in terms of the curriculum design, in terms of the entrance and in terms of the exit criteria and all that, there are certain autonomy rights and privileges which the institute enjoys. So, it could be an autonomous institute. It could be an affiliated institute which is not academically autonomous, that is all the basic academic processes are defined by the affiliating university. So, non-autonomous. Any other, some like directly with AICTE approval an institute has been started, anything like that. So, please specify what those any other under any other category what type of institute it is. So, provide these details. Now, in the case of autonomous institute or deemed university, mention the year of grant of status by the authority, because that has a bearing on the assessment period, whether the autonomy status was granted during the assessment period or prior to that. So, that will have an implication. So, we need to state what is the year in which that status was granted by the competent authority. Okay. Then in the case of autonomous institution, mention also the duration of the status. Autonomy was for 5 years or for a shorter period, 3 years, what is it? In case of a university constituent institution, that is the institute is a constituent institute of the university, please indicate the academic autonomy status of the institution as defined in the 12th plan guidelines of UGC. If the institute is a constituent college of the university, then institute should apply for tier 1 only when fully academically autonomous. That is the requirement. Under tier 1 category, if the institute is applying, it means that the institute is fully academically autonomous. Then the next 2 years are basic information like year of establishment of the institution. Then ownership status. So, the ownership can be central government, state government or grant in aid or self-financing trust or any other. So, for example, it could be a corporate also. So, please specify the ownership status. Then if there is an affiliating university, that means if it is relevant to ask for that information, then name and address of the affiliating university. Because if it is a private university or a deemed to be university, then there is no such affiliating university concept. Otherwise, an autonomous college or a non-autonomous college could be affiliated to any university. So, name and address of the affiliating university, if any. Then other academic institutions run by the trust society, etc., if any, if that is relevant. That is, if the same trust or society is running other academic institutions, these details have to be provided. If you recall, in the earlier units, we mentioned that under criterion 9, when we are talking of the governance issues and budget issues, the committee would like to know the institute wise planning of the budget in case the trust is running multiple institutes. So, it is necessary to provide information regarding any other academic institutions run by the trust society, if there are any. So, you provide a list of all institutions running under the same trust or society. So, details like name of the institution, year of establishment, programs of study and physically where is it located. Then details of all the programs being offered by the institution. Notice that here the information is provided regarding all the programs run by the institution. The institution presently is applying only certain number of programs to be accredited, but the information has to be provided regarding all the programs being offered by the institution. So, the program name, year of starting the program, sanctioned intake, increase, decrease in intake if any over the period, year of increase, decrease if such a thing has happened, AACT approval details. These documents are absolutely essential and they must be easily available and accessible. AACT approval details must be available. Then accreditation status. The accreditation status could be that we are applying for the first time for the accreditation of this program, or the program has been granted accreditation for 2 or 3 year period. Specify what is the period, from which date to which date, or granted accreditation for 5 or 6 years, again specify the period. Not accredited, that is the program did apply for accreditation, the committee did visit, but the program was not accredited, then specify the visit dates and the year. Withdrawn, as we will see later again, there is an option for the institute to withdraw a specific program from further consideration of accreditation if the institute feels that the program has deficiencies and weaknesses which are significant as pointed out by the visiting committee, and it is not worth going in for accreditation. It is a judgment of the institute, but if the institute decides to withdraw, then it can give in writing. We will see later the procedure, an application for withdrawing of the program from accreditation, but it is recorded that it has been applied and the institute requested withdrawal of the program for further consideration. So, if that has happened, the specify the visit dates and the year. Then the program is not eligible for accreditation. This already we have seen, at least 2 batches must have come out and all those things. So, right now this program is not eligible for accreditation. The final possibility is it is eligible for accreditation, but we are right now not applying. That is also possible. So, what is the current status of this particular program indicated? Okay. Then if that program has been accredited multiple times, then number of times the program accredited. Now, we show in this previous slide we saw all the programs offered by the institute. Now, we indicate the programs that we are applying for accreditation, that is the programs to be considered for accreditation wide this specific application. Notice that for each application the list of programs to be accredited is a separate one. The process is separate, the fees are separate, the visit dates are separate. Each application is one unique unit. So, within that application's scope, which are the programs which are to be considered for accreditation, that is all given in these tables. Okay. So, in a table A 8.1, list of programs to be considered for accreditation. Okay. So, this has to be kept clear and separate. So, keep a list of programs applying for NBA accreditation through this specific application. We just give an example, name of the department Computer Science and Engineering, and name of the program is BE Computer Science and Engineering. Now, there are allied departments, and the cluster to which this department belongs is having the cluster ID of 1 according to us. There might be, for example, another program on BTech Information Science and Engineering. So, that would have the same cluster ID, but that would be a different program. So, you indicate the department, the program, and if there are multiple departments or programs belonging to the same cluster, indicate the cluster ID. Here we have given, just as an example, only 3 programs: electronics and communication engineering, then chemical engineering. So, all these 3 belong to 3 distinct clusters. Then we show clearly name of the department, of the program for which accreditation is being sought. Here we have given name of the department. Then name of the allied departments or clusters. So, in this case, for example, Computer Science and Engineering is name of the department. Does the institute have any allied departments like Information Science and Engineering, Computer Science and Networking, any such department does it have? Name of the allied departments cluster. So, an example, we have Computer Science and Engineering, and allied department is Information Technology. there is another allied department in the same computer science and engineering cluster, and that is computer science and engineering and business systems. Then there is one more computer science and engineering, artificial intelligence and machine learning. So, these are all the allied departments which the institute is right now running. What the institute is running, we give these details. Similarly, electronics and communication engineering, electronics and telecommunication engineering is an allied department that is currently running in the institute. Then communication engineering is another allied department. So, whatever be the departments in the allied departments cluster, you indicate all of them and give each cluster a distinctive ID. Okay, that is how we have to give these details. Then we have to provide details of faculty members in various departments. Okay. So, both UG and PG, name of the department, then details of the faculty, how many professors, how many associate professors, how many assistant professors. So, total faculty members, then these details we will have to give for 3 academic years, current academic year -1 and current academic year -2. For 3 years you provide these details. Then regarding faculty, we have already discussed earlier in earlier units also multiple times. There are norms regarding who is to be considered as a faculty, who will be counted as a faculty in all the calculations related to the faculty. The details we have been discussing in several earlier units also. So, all the faculty, whether regular or contractual, except part-time or hourly based. Part-time or hourly based faculty would not be considered. Under any other category, whatever designation they give, faculty regular or contractual would be counted. So, part-time and hourly based, these are to be excluded. So, all the faculty, whether regular or contractual, will be considered. All regular faculty members shall meet the AICTE qualifications and experience requirements. Even for contractual faculty, this applies. There are more rules for contractual faculty. The contractual faculty appointed with any terminology whatsoever, whatever name you give, who have taught for 2 consecutive semesters. So, 2 consecutive semesters, that is the requirement for contractual faculty to be counted. Now, whether there is a break between the 2 semesters or not is immaterial. So, 2 consecutive semesters with or without break between the 2 semesters, that contractual faculty would be counted. So, the contractual faculty appointed with any terminology whatsoever, who have taught for 2 consecutive semesters with or without break between the 2 semesters in corresponding academic year, on full-time basis shall be considered for the purpose of calculations in the faculty student ratio. But with respect to contractual faculty, additional requirements are that they shall have the AICTE prescribed qualifications and experience, and they must be appointed on a full-time basis, and they must have worked for 2 consecutive semesters with or without break between the 2 semesters during the particular academic year under consideration, and very important, they should have gone through an appropriate process of selection. That means, an appropriate selection committee is constituted, an appropriate notification is issued, candidates are invited, then an appropriate kind of whatever be the selection process is really has happened, and based on that process of selection, these candidates have been selected and then appointed. So, there must be records of all these things, that is notification of the date of the interview, the selection board members who are present, their signatures, the specific time on which the selection process took place, records of that, all this must be available. So, the contractual faculties also should have gone through an appropriate process of selection, and the records of the same shall be made available to the visiting team during the NBA visit. That is very important. That is, while the faculty is contractual, the process is not ad hoc. Process is a well defined process. Okay. Then faculty members in the department who do not have any teaching or practical loads will not be counted. If a faculty member is having a purely academically administrative role and is not assigned any kind of teaching load, either theory or laboratory or any other way, then that faculty member would not be considered. Director, principal, dean, other academic administrative posts, these are all actually administrative posts, but they could have academic responsibilities also. So, such positions who has teaching practical load in the department will be counted. Even if a principal has certain teaching load in the department to which primarily she belongs, then that person would be counted in the faculty. So, this has been made clear in the earlier SAR. There was certain confusion regarding this. Now, it is all clear. Any administrative position, director, principal, dean or any other academic administrative post, if there is a teaching or practical load in the department, then that person would be counted. That is the requirement. Then visiting faculty, adjunct faculty who are working on hourly basis, a kind of a faculty which is based on the not the process through which these contractual faculty are to be appointed, that is the faculty who are working on such a part time basis or hourly basis will not be counted. So, the total number of faculty members in various departments, CAY is current academic year and -1, that is current academic year -1, which is also called as current assessment year. Unfortunately, both have the words CA, but current academic year -1 is current assessment year. Then CAY -2 is current academic year -2, which is current assessment year -1. Then the academic year is considered as July to June. Now, if the SAR is submitted before 30th September, this is an important date to remember, before 30th September, then current academic year is the previous academic year. That is in 2025 before 30th September, let us say on 20th September the SAR is submitted. Then CAY is the previous academic year, that is not 2025 July, but 2024 July, 2024 July to 2025 June, the previous academic year, that would be counted as the CAY. If the SAR is submitted after 30th September, then CAY is the present academic year, currently running academic year. So, if in 2025 year, if the SAR is submitted, let us say in the first week of October, then the current academic year, which is the running academic year, that is 2025 July onwards, that would be considered as the CAY. So, based on when the SAR is submitted, the CAY is defined, and once that is defined, CAY -1 and CAY -2, CAY -2 are appropriately defined. So, total number of engineering students in various departments. So, you provide in a tabular form name of the department, number of students in the department, UG as well as PG, and over the 3 academic years, CAY, CAY -1, CAY -2. In case the institution is running programs other than engineering programs, for example, MCA kind of a program, a separate table giving similar details is to be included. Then you also have to give the vision and mission. Notice that not all aspects of SAR are brought into part A. Part A is primarily institution information, but it is very important for the committee to understand the vision and mission of the institution. So, those details are asked for even in Part A. Of course, in Part B in the SAR in Criterion 1, we give all these details. We also show what is the process by which we arrive at all these things. But in Part A of the SAR also, we have to reproduce the vision and mission of the institution. Okay. Then finally, we have to provide contact information of the head of the institution and NBA coordinator. Typically, every institute would have one designated faculty member as the NBA coordinator to interact on a regular basis with the NBA office. So, head of the institution, name, designation, mobile number, email ID, standard details. Similarly, for NBA coordinator, name, designation, mobile number, email ID. So, these are the details which are to be provided in Part A of the SAR. Notice that most of it is just data except for vision and mission, which must have been formulated using certain processes, which would have been explained in Part B of the SAR. So, with that we complete the Part A of the SAR. Then in the next unit we look at the pre-qualifiers concept. What are pre-qualifiers and what is the pro forma for pre-qualifiers for applying for accreditation by NBA. So, in W11U1 we look at the pro forma for pre-qualifiers. Okay. Thank you. We will meet again in the next unit. Thank you.